Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my recap of Season 3 of WONDLA. I'm really excited to tell you guys what I thought about the season, and if you're excited to hear my thoughts, keep on watching. So Episode 1, Rise, starts with Cadmus and Eva in an airship. Cadmus has the Heart of the Forest and Eva 8 in captivity, and both of them think that Eva 9 is dead. Hold on, let's just say hi. My first personal note is that in this first scene, the lighting looks really, really good. They're lit very well. And that is one of the better notes that I have about the animation in this series. We can tell that Eva 8 is going to be a main character of this series, which is different than the book where she is already been transformed into a tree by this time. So I was interested to see what Eva 8's role would be in this story. Eva 8 eventually escapes from Cadmus and infiltrates New Attica by climbing the mesa, and then she fights an Authoriton to get its computer and gain access to the New Attica systems. On Eva 8's character, you can really see her vengeful intent versus the more nurturing and forgiving nature that Eva 9 has. And in the book, those two characters are foils of one another because of their differing ideas on how to go about their past hurt and trauma from Cadmus and from the Dynasties Corporation in general. So Eva 8 is chasing Cadmus and he switches the gondola to manual, which is not a big plot point, but I know that in the book, the Toilers had a gondola that was switched to manual too. So I thought that was a fun addition, kind of a nod to the book. Eva 8 and her crew lure Cadmus into a trap, but Cadmus reveals that he was a hologram the whole time and was in control of the whole situation, and it played out exactly how he wanted it to. He accuses Eva 8 of killing her sister and takes her into custody, and then tries to get her to denounce the rebellion in front of all of New Attica. But she takes over and tells her own version of the truth, which we know is a primary theme of the Battle for WONDLA book. She says that she wants to turn the source into a weapon and kill every last alien. So now we know exactly what her motivation is in this series and how she's going to work against Eva 9. So as the episode comes to a close, we see shots of the flora of Ravenna dying because the source is disconnected from the mother of the forest. And at this point, I was wondering, since Eva 8 is still alive, I was wondering if Eva 9 was going to take the place, both in terms of the story and in terms of the physical embodiment of the mother of the forest. I was wondering maybe if Eva 9 would take her place. And speaking of Eva 9, the final shot of the episode is Eva 9 waking up in the heart of the forest, surrounded by dead matter. Episode 2 is called Return, and it opens with Eva 9 in the dying heart of the forest chamber. When she wakes up, she notices that her hair and brows are white, which thematically in the book represent her purity and her innocent intention. She also notices that she's too late to stop the source from being stolen. I wish that her clothes had also turned white, like in the book, to kind of indicate her as kind of like a Gandalf the White kind of character, that she is a more pure version of herself. Eva hears a baby turnfin calling for help, and she goes and helps it, and then she notices a colorful, vibrant, living, wandering tree that she can go hitch a ride on. Once she gets on the tree, I was really excited to see that the tree is the home of Arius, the Arcean prophet. I missed Arius in season 1, and I'm really, really glad she was in this season so that we got to get a glimpse of the past and the future. Arius calls her the ninth of Evas. And this is important to me because my first time reading The Search for Wondla, I didn't know if 9 was a surname or she was ninth in a lineage. In chapter 23 of The Search for Wondla, Arius refers to her as Eva the Ninth, 9 Evas. And that answered that question for me, but I also love that it's referring to her family and her lineage, which is a big theme of the series is family, and I'm happy that Arius uses the same kind of language to refer to her in the show. Arius tells Eva 9 that the future has many facets. One thing that I think is interesting is that the heart of the forest is a sphere, but it has little shapes and geometric patterns on it that look like facets. So it's almost like the heart is symbolizing the future, literally and figuratively. And it also, this phrase, the future has many facets, Arius is letting Eva know that she is in control of her own future, and it's up to her to save or doom Orbona. One nitpick I had is that Arias has fine hair on her body like Zin does, his model in the show, and not a mushroom-like texture like in the book. The quote from the book is that Arias's ivory skin had the texture of a mushroom. I was hoping that there would be a physical differentiation between the Arceans, but it's more of a nitpick than something that was a deal breaker for me. So Arias shows Eva 9 a vision of the Solar Palace and Queen Oho, and my favorite quote from this season so far is when Arias tells her, "Now the world that was can become the world that will be," which I love, and I see it as a foreshadowing of the theme of Eva either saving or breaking Orbona and relating it back to the old version of the Earth. Eva 9 notices a smoke signal in the distance and asks the Turnfins to help her fly there, and she realizes that the smoke signal is coming from Faunus. She reunites with Rovender and tells him that they have to go to Solace. On their journey through Faunus, we hear Cerulean person saying, "Lorak warned us about the humans." So we know that Lorak has already started to exert his influence over the Orbonian citizens. Antiquus warns Rovender and Eva 9 that Rovender is using the dying of the forest to wrest power away from Queen Oho, and that they will be captured if they try to go to Solace. When they do get to Solace, they get inside the throne room, and we find Lorak trying to convince Queen Oho to attack the human nest. Some personal notes about this scene: the pillar guards look great. The Solar guards look really, really good, and they're very similar to their book design, which I really liked. You can see Lorak, and I've noticed that he's really big, and all four Arceans are alive. You can see them because Zin is in the throne room. We just met Arias, and I guess we don't know if Darius is still alive yet, but we don't know if he's consumed them yet. And my question was, is he going to consume them in this show? Because that was a big part of his plot in the book. Zin's role is very diminished. He seems stupid or like he's like comic relief, and I don't like that because Zin was a very Zin's power in the book was mental strength and intelligence. So diminishing him to this kind of flaky, scared character does the original character of Zin a pretty big disservice, if you ask me. So, in the Battle for Wondla in chapter 15 on page 170 of my hardcover edition, Zin tells Eva, "You see, my ability focuses on analysis and intellect, but as you may noticed, I am physically smaller than my siblings." So it's in the text that Zin is smart but small, and his power is in his intellect, and I don't think it's fair to his character to make him dumb and scared like he is in the show. I didn't really think that was a way to honor the book. You know what I mean? In the throne room, Lorok says that they came to the planet 150 years ago, which doesn't seem very long. He says, "You are a liar, human. No one has seen Arias since we came to this planet 150 years ago." I just think that, in my mind, Wondla takes place thousands of years in the future, so it just seems like a short amount of time to me. Once again, I think it's a shame that Oho looks like a sheep and not a beautiful, regal alien queen. I think they really nerfed her design in this show. Budget restraints notwithstanding, I just don't think she looks that great compared to her beautiful illustrations in the source material. So Lorak has the whole crew thrown in prison, and Oho tells Eva about Darius and Arias' disagreement and how Arias left to find the bridge between the world that was and the world that could be. So Darius can only see into the negative past of the Earth, while Arias could see the potential good future. And Arias refers to Eva 9 as the bridge between the two ideas. And this is exactly what happens in the book. Zin tells us in the first book, "My sister Darius was bombarded by dark memories in her dreams at night and meditations by day. Eventually she fled, looking for a refuge, a meadow, a lake, a mountain that had only a peaceful past, a place of tranquility." So we know that Darius, who could see into the past, needed to be somewhere that didn't have a negative past of war or famine or anything evil or dark in the past so that she could be at peace. And then Arias was more hopeful because she could see into the future. And even though her visions and prophecies were vague, she still had more hope than Darius did. And they were kind of antithesizing one another. And I'm glad that this was also a theme of the show. Oho says that the source was supposed to go all the way into the Earth's core, and Eva realizes that it never made that far because it hit the sanctuary where the mother was. Oho says they need to break out of jail and find Zin and ask him how to get the source to the core of the earth. Now we get Redimus coming in. Redimus's theme is amazing. So the track is called Race to the Tunnel, and it's my new favorite from the whole soundtrack. It's so good. Given Gifts was my favorite from the first soundtrack, and The Heart was my favorite from the second, but The Race to the Tunnel is the best song on this soundtrack. It's very good. Now, here we get to something that I didn't like in one of my animation notes, is that Redimus and Lorok's mouth tracking is awful. It is not syncing up with their words at all. It seems like they kind of rushed this job, and I don't like that because this series means so much to me, and I really wanted the TV show to mean a lot to me too, and it still does. I still liked it overall. You'll find out in my overall thoughts later, but I wish that we had taken more time and waited for it to come out until it was finished. So I just didn't think it was very respectful to the fans to do that. So after Redimus kind of beats up the Solar Guards, Eva realizes there's a thermal vent in New Attica goes all the way to the Earth's core, and they can drop the source down it. Queen Oho remembers there's a secret exit in her father's collection room, but the guards are following them, and the Pillar Guard Chip is back, which is fun, and they go with Zin to the collection room while Redimus and Rovender fight off the guards, and Chip breaks through to get to the secret exit. Zin tells Eva that the heart must always stay in the casing and she cannot touch it, and then he kind of throws himself in the way of Lorok so that they can escape, which it kind of brings back his character from the book, but not really. As the episode concludes, Lorok promises to rid Urbana of the ghosts of the dirt, which is another phrase that I really like. Ghosts of the dirt, I think, is a really interesting way that these fantastic Urbanians would speak about the humans underground. He promises to take back the heart as an army of Pillar Guards and Solar Guards marches towards New Attica, and the episode ends. So episode 3, Mission, starts with the Solar Army marching towards New Attica, and Eva and her friends are walking through the forest, but they can't catch up with the mechanical Pillar Guards. Otto and Vampa come out of the forest, and Vampa says that he can find the bijou. Now, a note that I had is that Eva needs to give Vampa Jargum, when in the book, Rovender specifically mentions that he trusts Vampa because he can understand him, because Vampa has a vocal transcoder. In A Hero for WONDLA, Rovender says, "This one I can understand. He must carry a transcoder," which is pivotal for Rovender, who's distrustful of humans, to trust Vampa because he can understand him and they can understand one another. That's super important in the book, and it seems like a weird addition to not have him be able to understand Urbanians in the show. They get to Locus and find out that Caruncle is the viceroy of Locus. Redimus and Eva go to intimidate Caruncle into telling him where the bijou is. One thing I thought was interesting is that Caruncle spills the beans to Redimus that Eva killed Bastille. And Redimus didn't know that, which I think is interesting because in the book, Redimus did know that, and he was helping Eva in spite of that because of his duty to Urbana and the crown, Queen Oho. But this one, it seems like it almost catches him off guard, and he's wondering if he should still help Eva. The guards capture Redimus, and Eva and her crew hide at the Haith ports, and they find out that the bijou is in Locus, and they devise a plan to get it back. They sneak past the guards into the bijou and find Haley sitting in a compartment, and they kind of forgive Haley for betraying them, which I think is fine. He kind of betrayed them late in the last season instead of earlier in the last season, so I think it was kind of like water off a duck's back, kind of. Now, Caruncle has stolen a part of the bijou because he knew they were going to try to steal it back, so they have to try to get the piece back and get Redimus out of his captivity. Here, Azora shows up from Faunus. I don't know where she came from. She just kind of materialized, but I guess she's here now. Now, one thing I did like about the animation is that the wide shots of the boom rod firing in Locus were really good. I thought they looked amazing and accurate to what I was imagining when I was reading the book. Oho speaks to the people of Locus and inspires them to rise up against Lorok because she is their queen, and at the end of the day, they are allegiant to her and not to Lorok. Oho decides to stay in Locus, and Eva gives her her Omnipod and leaves for New Attica. And the episode closes. Episode 4 is called Monsters, and it opens with Eva's plan to drop the heart down the thermal vent in New Attica. They see the entire wandering forest migrating towards New Attica, and Rovender theorizes that the source must be inside the city. They hear a transmission from Eva 8, and Eva 9 goes to find her, but when Eva 9 tells Eva 8 her story, Eva 8 handcuffs her and says she's sick and tells her they're on Earth, not Urbana. And that is another theme, another instance of the theme that Eva 8 is saying what she believes is true, but that doesn't mean that it's true for everybody. The Bijou crew hears the transmissions that Eva is a prisoner, but meanwhile, two people in Eva 8's crew knock out the doctor and help Eva 9 escape. Eva 8 thinks the worst of everything. She thinks that the Wandering Forest is an Orbanian army, and she ends up killing a mother air whale, saying it was a monster. But Eva 9 says Eva 8 is the true monster, which I think is a great, not a callback, but a reference to when Eva 9 and Eva 8's mother was killed by an Orbanian, and this is the other way around, where an Attican is killing an Orbanian. It's a mirror of what happened previously in the story. Eva 8 commands her army to shoot any alien within range, but Eva 9 gets in the way, and she says to hold her fire until Eva 9 is clear. Eva 9 tells the entire force not to go any further, to turn away, because the heart will come to them. Then Eva 9 turns around, and Eva 8 and Eva 9 face each other, and clearly you can see a split in between their two ideas and their morals, and they start to face off against one another. Otto leaves to be with his herd, while Eva doubts if she can protect the heart. But Rovender, I really liked this. Rovender recites part of the Corsair poem, or the glad waters of the dark blue sea, our thoughts as boundless and our souls as free, which is a poem that Mother recites in Book 1 when they get to Locus and see Link Concourse. A Turnfin offers to lead them to the heart, while the Solar Army appears, and the Solar Army also has a really great theme. Episode 5 is called Lost. It opens with Eva 8 making brash decisions to try and defeat the Solar Army, and the people in her army are like, okay, girl, what are you doing? This is like crazy. While that's happening, Vampire reprograms a warbot to sneak into Trever Town. There's a great shot of the armies clashing, of Pillar Guards versus Warbots, of Atticans versus Orbanians. It's a really great shot. The Turnfin from last episode guides Eva and her crew back into New Attica, guiding them towards the heart. Now, more animation notes. The battle sequences are really good. The soundtrack is really good as usual. The score is amazing, and it really captures the scariness of battle as the Pillar Guards tear down the army. The Solar Army tries so hard to defeat the Orbanian army, and Pillar Guards are ripping off the roof of New Attica. During the attack, Redimus saves Violet from being killed by a Pillar Guard, which changes her mind about Orbanians in general, which is also a mirror of in the book when Rovender knows that Vampon can speak to him because of his transcoder. Both are instances of the other side realizing that they're not that bad. Violet tells him that the heart is in Cadmus's office, and Eva makes her way there. Cadmus is there, tied up from Eva 8, and he tells Eva that he turned the heart into a bomb that is on top of the pyramid. He gives her his original Omni, which is just like in the book when he gives her his original Omnipod to carry forward his legacy and keep humanity going. Eva climbs to the top of the spire and accesses the heart using Cadmus's Omni, but the pyramid falls apart because of the Pillar Guard attack, and she drops the heart. She hears Mother's voice telling her, "I will go on, and so will you," and jumps off the crumbling pyramid to catch the heart. Really great shot. Another really, really good shot. Now, Otto flies through with his herd to rescue Eva, and the heart is safe. She reunites with Rovi and her crew, and she asks Vampaw to stay and help the Attican citizens, which she also does in the book. And Vampaw and the Toilers agree to take in the Attican citizens and forgive them for all of the shunning that they have been subject to over the past years. At the end of the episode, Lorok comes out, and we're left wondering what's going to happen next week in the finale. The finale, episode 6, is titled WONDLA. Eva, Rovender, and Otto escape through the battlefield with the heart of the forest. Rovender and Lorok grapple over the heart, and Lorok escapes with it. He mentions something that makes me believe that his motivation is similar to the book, where he wants to cause chaos and destruction on the low, and then come up. And since he caused it, he knows exactly how to fix it. And then everyone's like, oh my god, Lorok, our savior. So I liked that he had a similar intent to in the book. What I didn't like is that Lorok gets greedy, touches the heart of the forest, and turns to stone, and then dies. Okay? He was a fabulous villain and character in the books. His motivation was amazing. His creature transformation was amazing. This is a very significant nerfing of Lorok's character, and I do not really appreciate it at all. After Eva defeats Lorok, she flies towards New Attica with the heart of the forest, heading towards the vent, but the tunnel collapses and traps her under the rubble. Eva cries out to the heart, and her Turnfin and Sand Sniper friends appear to clear the rubble. After she's rescued, Eva comes to the vent surrounded by Urbanian animals, but she's met by Eva 8. Eva 8 is holding a gun and threatens to kill Eva if she has to. 8 is surrounded by animals and accidentally shoots Rovender, who's trying to give her jargon to help her understand them. He asks 9 to help 8 understand and tells her not to let it change her. Why the hell did we kill Rovender? So Rovender's dead for some reason, and Eva 9 goes and hugs Eva 8, and the sisters relive Eva 8's memory of her not being allowed entry into the sanctuary, which is a moment that really broke Eva 8. Eva 8 says Eva 9 chose them, and Eva 9 tells her there is no them, only us. Eva 8's book story was better than this, but in terms of this show, I like Eva 8's story. It's fine, it's good, it's well done, but Eva 8's book story of having to give up her anger and become part of the earth, I liked that much better than I liked this, but this is not that bad. I enjoy it for what it is. Eva 9 forgives Eva 8, who takes the heart from her and jumps into the vent. So Eva 9 loses her sister and her father in the same day. After Eva 8 drops into the vent, giant stalks appear out of the vent and then bloom all over the world. Then we see that the heart heals Rovender. Thank God. Thank God. I did not want Rovender to die. I thought that would have been, when I was watching this, I thought it would be crazy if he died. Another pleasant surprise in the show was Arius reciting the Nymph of the Earth poem, which is a prophecy that she tells to Eva in the first book. So I really was excited to see that poem included in this show because I really liked it in the first book. Then we get a nice montage of Eva giving Queen Oha her scepter and humans and Urbanians living together in peace. And then, now I understand why Eva 8 jumped into the event. She is merged with the heart of the forest, and Eva has a little vine that comes and snakes towards her. And she's like, oh, hi, sister. So I understand why Eva 8 did that. It's kind of her tree transformation from the book, just not done as well. As the episode concludes, Arya says, and so the world that was became the world that will be, past forgiven and future found, which is exactly what I was talking about with Arius and Darius. They are so conflicted about this, and both ideas can be the same. You just need to forgive your past and work towards the future, which I think is a great lesson, a great theme, and I really liked that quote. The final shot is Arius and Darius together weaving a tapestry of Eva, Rovender, Mother, and Otto, and I think that is the best way to end this series. I really like that Darius got to be alive at the end of the series, and I like that the sisters combined their strength and power to, like they said, forgive the past and weave the future. I think that's a really great theme and a really great lesson that we can learn from this show. Okay, guys, that is season 3 and the full show of WONDLA all complete. I am going to give you my thoughts about this season, and then later I think I'm going to do a whole video of this series versus the book series, and a whole maybe 30-minute video, hour-long video of what my thoughts are. But for now, I'm just going to talk about what I liked and disliked about this season. So the first thing I noticed that I really liked was that I love to see Arius and hear her prophecies. She's such an interesting character in the books, and I'm glad she got to come into this show. The lighting, like I mentioned, is really, really good. I really liked that Eva's hair turned white, and the music, specifically that Redimus theme and the Pillar Guard theme, like I talked about, was amazing. Now, some of my dislikes for this show were nerfing Lorok and Eva 8. They deserved a lot better, and they got a lot better in this book. So if you like this show, read the book, I promise you'll love it. I didn't like that they killed Rovender just to bring him back, although, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of worked because I didn't expect them to kill him. So I was like, why would they kill him if they're just going to bring him back? So to be honest, it worked. So maybe I don't mean that much. The mouth tracking was bad. The mouth tracking was pretty bad for most of the creatures. I think they could have spent more time fine-tuning that. The last thing I didn't like about this show was the word Sancbo. I don't like that. Just say Sanctuary Born. It sounds better. Guys, we are at the end of my WONDLA Apple TV Plus show journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for watching all of my videos about WONDLA. If you want more, this video is in a playlist, and there will be a playlist link below and up here of all of my WONDLA content. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future WONDLA content, and leave a comment down below. What do you want me to do next? Do you guys want to see a whole video recapping the show and the book and comparing them and contrasting them with one another? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace, y'all.